everybody. This is James from Easterseals, and today we're going to be talking about the different types of elbow strikes. Now, this is a type of striking system that I am still learning as I go. I have a foundation mostly in Kempo and boxing, and I never really experimented with elbows until recently. And I'm getting a little bit more familiar with them, and that's something about martial arts. That's also the beauty of it, is that it's always never ending. You're learning so many different things and so many different techniques, and you can master one system and then can be a complete novice on another system. So that being said, I am learning how to do these elbow strikes, and I want to show you them because in Western martial arts, they're not really implemented that much. You'll see, obviously, elbows in Muay Thai. That is really one of the fundamentals in Muay Thai is elbow strikes. And I kind of want to introduce you to a little bit of them. Once again, I still have a lot to learn about perfecting them, but I can teach you the basics with them. So, what's really great about elbow strikes is that they can be on the guard, where if I'm like right here, I have to kind of throw in the punches. But with an elbow strike, I'm right here, I have ready to go. Now, the downside of an elbow strike is distance, where if I'm throwing a punch, I'm right here. But to throw an elbow, I have to really move in. So you have to be more in the grappling range to kind of throw an elbow. I mean, you can really close the distance, but there's some downsides to it. There's a lot of pluses and minuses. Another plus about an elbow is that it's a lot harder than your knuckles. So you can really go to town on this, where I'm not going to do it because I don't want to do it, but throwing a punch against concrete really hurts. Throwing an elbow against concrete, it hurts, but I would feel more comfortable throwing an elbow to concrete than trying to throw a punch to concrete because this is much more stable. Now, I want you to imagine this going into somebody's forehead, and it's not pretty. These are very, very, very dangerous. And if you were sparring somebody, I would be very cautious about throwing an elbow straight to them. When I'm kind of lightly sparring with somebody, I'm not going to completely throw that elbow. I'm going to probably hold back or just lightly touch them because you got to be very careful. It looks like that doesn't look that bad, but there's so much mass, and that little bony nub right there can do a lot of damage. Anyway, let's talk about the basic elbow strikes. So the first one is the most common, I would say, which is the cross elbow. So this is our cross punch. It's the same thing, but I'm going to tuck in my hand and come in with that. Now, this little nubby part right here, this is what you strike with. Now, you'll see people kind of strike right over here, and this is probably going to do more damage to you than the person. There's nothing really there. It's just muscle. You want to make sure that it's bone, pure bone contact. So you'll see someone kind of going like, maybe throwing like we'll get to this strike in a minute. But if they're connecting all right here, this is really nothing. It's got to be the bone. So I'm coming in. If you're standing, throw the hip and make sure that connects. Now, I'm looking over at the camera right here, and I'm imagining that it connects right here. Now, if I go over here, if I go like a slash over here, I might just kind of hit them on the nose or something, but I want to push my elbow into that person's face right there and come right back. It's not like a hook or anything. It's a straight strike. It's just coming. It's just like a cross, but I'm throwing my elbow instead. So I'll call that the cross elbow. There's other words for it, but that's all right. The other one is the upward aim elbow. This one is very deceiving. So if I'm right here, all I do is I comb my hair and I just see how cool I look, just like that. Now, it doesn't look like it does a lot of damage, but it's really deceptive because all of a sudden, if I move in, boom. That is really hard to block, especially if someone's in a traditional guard. If I'm right here, I have that window, I can sneak in the middle. Whew, I don't know what you do. You're just going to have to take that right to the face. And trust me, that is not pretty. So all you're doing is you're just bringing your hand up through your head, and you just kind of do this glide. Just coming in, boom. And if you can step in, maybe you can do a pop, like a jab, upper elbow. And once again, it's not really that different from just from a regular uppercut, where you would stop right here, but you just keep on going and you're actually punching backwards almost, like boom, like that. it's the same core. You're still using the same core as a regular uppercut, as a regular cross, but you're just slightly moving your arms and you're letting this do the work instead. So we have our cross elbow, we have our uppercut elbow, and this one's unlike the other two. This one is an overhead. It's also called a spear, and you're going to come up like this. So it's it's kind of like a chop in martial arts, where you kind of do that. But once you get up here, you're going to tuck in that elbow, and you're going to awkwardly kind of have the hand going this way. And you're going to come in like that. So it's up like that. Why do you want to do it that way? Is I used to think that you would just go straight down. But here's the thing. If I'm imagining I'm striking somebody, see how offline it is? Where if I went like this, I'm just going to get on the shoulder. In order for me to make that work, I would have to step to the side. But I want to hit my target who's straight in front of me. So I actually have to hook my shoulder a little bit out and kind of shoot out my hand. So at the last second, I rotate out so it connects. So you kind of get this fulcrum on there too. Now I've seen people kind of just come in, boom, and throw that elbow. And there's a lot of momentum. And if that hits you in the head, that's not pretty. So recap, we have the cross, we have the uppercut, and then we have the spear, which comes in like that. So the spear takes a really long time. And so some people will do this if they really want to close distance, where they're running and boom, they got something. Once again, I'm not really good at that. I've seen really, really amazing fighters do that jump strike on that one. But this could be good if you have time. So all of a sudden I'm stepping over and I have time and I can throw an elbow. You have to wind up for that to work. Whereas this one's really fast. And even this one's pretty fast. This one needs some time, but if you connect, it's going to do some damage. The last one is the rear elbow. This one, if I'm behind myself on this one, and I see it coming, I'm going to keep this tucked in as much as I can. And I can come in like that. I don't want to do this, because if you notice, I'm going to connect right here. So if all of a sudden I do, you'll see a lot of the movies where people do elbows like this. They're actually doing that so that the person doesn't get hurt. So I'm coming over here. Imagine this is the head. See how it's not connecting. But if I come over here, now I'm hitting. So you want to keep that elbow tight. So if someone's over there, boom. As tight as you can, and that makes sure that the elbow, the nub, is connected. So that's usually if someone's behind you. This is like a textbook strike if somebody is grabbing you by the shoulder. So if someone's trying to pull you this way, and you just come up with that elbow, it's very, very effective. You're going to knock them out if you can connect them in the head. I cannot stress enough. Getting hit with the nub of this is very dangerous. Be very careful. Don't actually do this strike unless you need to. If you're lightly sparring, make sure they have headgear at least. This can do a lot of damage. You can also do a rear strike in front of somebody. So for example, if I'm coming in and I cross my arm, I can do that as well. That's a lot harder. But if, let's say I throw a hook, and then instead of coming all the way back, I can come in and then step in with one. So I have to bring it over here and step it in. It's very deceptive. So if I'm just like, boom, 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 and throw the hook, boom, that's stepping on that one. So there's a lot of places to throw elbows. And if you have pads, I'll be very careful. With here, I'm just throwing a current and I know my range on this one. But throw in some elbows too while you're at it. So I'm from a boxing background, so I don't want to throw these combos, but I can throw in here, I can throw that uppercut, I can throw that spear, and then, you can also do like the spinning one, like the boom as well. That's hard to pull off. If you pull it off, you're amazing. That's pretty awesome if you can do that. But it's just one other tool in your workbox, in your arsenal that you can use. And learning how to effectively use elbows, I was against them for years. Like, I don't need elbows. I got my punches. I'm a man. But once I saw people effectively use elbows, I was like, okay, now I have to try this. Don't be afraid to learn new things. You know, learning how to do elbows, learning how to grapple, learning how to throw people. There's so many different types of martial arts, and the more well-rounded you are, the better. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed this lesson, and I'll see you next time.